public's love affair with the motor car is coming to an end. Motoring just isn't fun anymore. It's hard work, it's frustrating, it's dangerous, it's polluting the environment and damaging our health. Motoring would be more enjoyable if some of the bad habits that this program is going to explore didn't happen. Wishful thinking? Yes, but attitudes can be changed remarkably quickly. For instance, the public's attitude towards drinking and driving. Due to public information, advertising and education, there's been a dramatic drop in the number of drink driver deaths. Speeding is the next problem the government is targeting with a Kill Your Speed campaign. Hopefully, drivers will quickly get the message. This program will show you why. Speeding. Britain has been highly successful compared with continental countries in reducing deaths from road accidents. They have fallen from 5,600 15 years ago to 3,600 last year. But as the police point out, there were over 700 people murdered last year. But how many newspaper headlines did the road deaths make? Excessive speed is attributed to the cause of up to 1,200 of the deaths on British roads last year. So Kill Your Speed is perhaps the most important message to bring home to motorists. This car was speeding when picked up by an unmarked police car. But the driver had also been drinking and thought he could get away. The faster a car is travelling, the more difficult it becomes for a pedestrian to judge a car's speed, and children have a lesser ability to assess speeds than adults. And this is speeding of the worst kind, down narrow country lanes with children on bikes around. And pedestrians. And animals as well. He lost the police in the maze of lanes, but they had his registration and they soon found him parked up at home. But he turned into his garage space in such a hurry that he'd hit the post and knocked the roof down. This clip from New Zealand takes speeding to the extreme. The video is of a racing enthusiast who is attempting to break the land speed record on a public road. The driver had already made one successful attempt but wanted to do one more. But this time his rear tyre blew, which sent the car cartwheeling through the air. No one witnessing the crash expected him to survive, but he was all right apart from the half a dozen or more smashed bones. The car's special cage saved him, but the rest of the car was a complete wreck. He's vowed never to race again. The minimum fine for speeding is £40 with 3 penalty points, but if the offence is particularly serious, a magistrate can up the fine and points or disqualify you. This Porsche had been stolen in Swindon. The thief had pretended to be interested in buying the car and taking it for a test drive. He returned the next day, broke into the car owner's house and stole the Porsche keys. Reckless driving like this could land you in jail, which is where this thief ended up for 9 months. After his stay in hospital, that is. skid pad. If you lose control of your car, the consequences can be very serious, not only for you, but for those other drivers using the roads. And speeding is the most common cause of losing control. The following is a driving tutorial from Paul Ripley, who is one of the country's leading advanced driving instructors.
One of the main causes of a skid is hitting the brakes whilst you're cornering, so therefore steering angle is applied. So we're going to simulate that now. Go into a corner, a little bit damp road surface, into a corner a little bit too quick, and when we're going to hit the brakes on there, and the car just slides straight off the road. It didn't matter what we did there because we locked the wheels and therefore we couldn't steer the car anywhere. And that is a normal cause of skidding, hitting the brakes while steering is applied. The other type of cause of skidding is also related to acceleration. Too much applied while you have too much steering angle applied. So what we're going to do now is go into the corner, not necessarily too quick, but just apply too much power whilst we have steering applied. We're going around the corner. So we're not sliding now, and too much acceleration will cause the back end, and we need to slide the wheel towards the back end to retrieve the car. And that's the only way we're going to retrieve the car. So always steer towards the back end of the car, which way the back end of the car is going, and that is a rear wheel skid called an oversteer. Oj jävlar! Den kom jag, den fick vi perfekt. For those cars not fitted with ABS, there is something called cadence braking, which is a rhythmic pumping of the brake pedal. So basically you create wheel lock and then come off the foot pedal, the brake pedal, to relieve the wheel lock. And we're going to pump now into, just declutch the car and pump, 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 like that. And it's that easy. You've got to hit the pedal as hard as you can, release the foot pedal, hit it as hard as you can, release, so it's brake, release, brake, release, brake, release, as fast as you possibly can. You notice there also we were able to have some steering control over the car, so we were able to steer around the corner whilst we were on maximum cadence braking.
Kiwi Pursuit. Here we have a pursuit from Auckland, New Zealand. The helicopter and numerous police cars followed this stolen car for 45 minutes. Watch at this roadblock as the police in frustration resorted to throwing their nightsticks at the car, hoping to break the windows. The driver was totally reckless, driving at unsuspecting motorists and using the wrong side of the road. And here, going the wrong way around one of Auckland's busiest roundabouts.
At 10 o'clock. And he slowed down at the lights, kind of in front of a van. He's going to shunt them, he's going to shunt them, he's going to shunt them. No, he isn't.
At last, the police forced the stolen car into a tailspin and officers rush up to make an arrest. But the youths have other plans. They haven't given up at all, as the officer finds as he grabs their door. They smash their way out, with other officers narrowly missing being run over.
He got the shot, Tony.
Oh, keep it.
Less than a mile later, they are forced to stop and are arrested. The driver turned out to be only 15 years old and told police he was only showing off to his mates. Bikers. Last year, 440 bikers died and over 22,600 were injured on Britain's roads. It's estimated that over a third of these deaths were caused by excessive speed. Bikers are well used to being cut up, but this hand signal isn't in the highway code. Riding a bike in heavy rain is no one's idea of fun, and this biker was obviously in a miserable mood. And all the tanker did was to hold him up a bit. Doing wheelies might look fun, but the fun was short-lived as they were both done for dangerous driving.
Comes another one.
Bikes are great for taking short cuts, but not on the pavement. This biker's impatience cost him £40.
There he is, he's caught up there. The other one's over there.
This biker wasn't speeding, he wasn't drunk, and he was an experienced biker, but he was going too fast for the road conditions on this particular night. Luckily, he wasn't hurt either.
Oj, han går omkull så det bara stänker om det. Han försökte köra ifrån.
This biker was speeding and was drunk on a stolen bike and was about to stop when the highway patrol car ran into him. This speeding biker seemed suspicious to the patrol car, and the registration check listed the bike as having been stolen.
Yeah, I'm just fucking thinking about it. Chasing a solo Curly Way.
If you hear a siren, check your mirror and look around to see where it's coming from.
Zulu 11, Curly Way, just gone into Pampersford Road.
Whatever you do, don't stop like this motorist, blocking the junction. Emergency vehicles don't want you to necessarily stop, but to just make space for them to pass as safely and quickly as possible.
Pampersford Road now. He's gone straight over. We're now in Healing Park Road. Healing Park. Gone a left into Lower Coombe Street. Now approaching the fire station. On towards Mitcham Road.
As soon as the biker spotted the police motorcyclist, he gave up. His passenger claimed that he had no idea the bike was stolen. The biker was given a community service sentence and banned from riding for 2 years and ordered to take a retest. Cyclists. This cyclist could have very easily added himself to the statistics which listed 203 cyclists killed and over 24,000 injured last year. But the figures don't show where the finger of blame should be pointed.
Hey, hey, hey.
The cyclist had been cut up by this car and nearly knocked over, but he managed to catch up with him at the lights and have a go at him. The police had witnessed the whole incident.
Jeg kan dansk flere gange, og man har brugt 158, og har brugt 158. Skal jeg komme til en færdig ud af bussen?
This is every cyclist's worst nightmare and the most common accident involving cyclists. This chap was lucky he wasn't knocked off his bike, which is what normally happens. All the dozy passenger can do is say sorry. Many cycling offences are caused by drunk cyclists. The figures show that cyclists are far from blameless when it comes to breaking road safety rules. Last year, 3 pedestrians were killed and 310 needed hospital treatment after being hit by cyclists. Pedestrians. Of the 11 people killed every day on Britain's roads, 1/3 are pedestrians. Research shows that 9 out of 10 pedestrians hit at 20 miles per hour survive, but anyone hit at 30 miles per hour or more are likely to be killed or seriously injured. The maximum fine for illegally driving across a pedestrian crossing is £1,000 with a disqualification. So, kill your speed, not a pedestrian. Remember, at 20 miles per hour, very few pedestrians are killed and most injuries are slight. At 30 miles per hour, many are seriously injured and about half are killed. And at 40 miles per hour, most people hit are killed, which is why it is so important to stick to speed restrictions in built-up areas. Just what this Australian kid is doing was never discovered, but it was a miracle he wasn't run over. And people as drunk as this often are run over. Drinking and driving.
Ma'am, have you anything to drink tonight? Not sure.
This lady drove into this police station car park claiming she was being chased by a gang. The officers reckoned she was drunk.
You don't think that your driving has been impaired by that
Nope.
beer or anything like that, okay?
Nope.
Okay, now what I want you to do is I want you to put your left foot on that line first. Okay, put your left foot. Oh, hang on. Okay, now put your right foot in a heel-to-toe fashion, just like that. Okay, on the line there. Okay, now hold that position just for a second. You want to go ahead and take one last drag off that cigarette, because that's...
Nope.
Okay, you want to put it down then?
Nope.
You're going to hold on to it?
Yep.
Okay. When I tell you to begin, I'll do is I want you to take 9 steps down this line. Hang on. I haven't told you to go yet. Okay. Go ahead and put your foot back. Okay. Now hold that position. I want you to take 9 heel-to-toe steps down this line. Okay. Now it's going to look like this. You got your right foot in front. Your first step is with your left foot. And when you take these steps, keep your hands out your sides. Watch the line. Count your steps out loud like this. 1, 2, 3, all the way to 9. Okay. Now when you get there, I got to have you turn around and come back. Okay. Hang on. Hang on. Take 9 heel-to-toe steps down the line. Hang on.
What the dude? Let's go.
Well, I'm trying to.
It's cold out
I know.
here.
I'm trying to explain everything to you.
All right,
Okay.
9 steps, pivot, 9 steps.
I'll
I
do.
got it. I got it.
All do is listen. Relax.
I got it, dude.
Well, I have a certain procedure that I go through. Okay.
911's a joke, dude. I'm
Okay.
serious.
Put your right foot in front.
So I come here because a bunch of black people are chasing me, and I got to do this.
Well, we want to make sure you're going to be able.
Bullshit.
We want to make sure you're going to be able to drive home.
Bullshit.
Okay. Do you understand what I'd like you to do, Abdul?
You want me to take 9 steps, pivot, 9 steps. I got it.
Okay. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and begin.
So I can, like, take my smoke. Whenever I'm ready, right?
Well, yeah. You were ready to go like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah,
now,
but you stopped me 3 or 4 times.
Right. Because I wasn't finished with the explanation.
Okay.
That's why.
Well, I'm not finished with my smoke.
Okay.
One.
No, that's your starting position. You start with your left foot, like I told you. Okay.
Oh, you want me to start with my left?
No.
One.
I'll do is listen. Put your right foot in front, and then take
No,
your
you
first
just
step
said-
with your left foot. Okay. Okay. Start with your right foot in front.
This is not gymnastics. What the is
You're
going
right.
on?
Aldous, just listen.
What leg do you want me to
Put your right foot in front. No, your right foot.
You just said left.
Okay. No.
What do you want? What do you want?
Right.
What do you want? My right.
Aldous, listen.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Missing
6,
on every step.
7,
Arms up.
8, 9. Pivot.
And then 9 steps back.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Flip flop.
No, wait, we didn't want any flip-flops. Okay. Okay. I need you to give me this hand here, because at this point, ma'am, you're under arrest for driving under the influence.
You want me to stand on legs?
No, no. Right now, I need to tell you you're under arrest. Okay?
No?
No.
You want me to stand on legs?
No. Aldous, listen to
I
me.
just told you.
I understand that. No, you don't need a doctor's note. I don't want to perform the test if you're injured. But you are under the arrest for driving under the influence of alcohol. Okay? Do you understand that part?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. You're under arrest. Okay.
Can I just stand on my legs?
No. We don't.
It's gonna hurt, but I'll do it.
No, we don't want to do that. It's going to hurt.
Wait a minute, but I'll do it.
That's fine. That's fine. Let's go over this way. Come on.
You pieces of shit.
Oh, no sense being mean now, Aldous.
You pieces of shit.
No sense being mean.
No sense.
Speeding is obviously not the only cause of road deaths. In fact, drink driving causes by far the most fatal road accidents. If you're caught driving while under the influence, you will almost certainly lose your licence for a year and be heavily fined. You may also have to retake your driving test, which is a sentencing option being used with increasing frequency by magistrates. Overtaking. The following sequences show up some very impatient drivers. This illegal manoeuvre cost this motorist £40. But this badly timed pullout and then failing to stop nearly lost the elderly driver his licence. When he eventually did stop, he claimed that his hearing aid battery was flat. Overtaking on cross-hatching like this is illegal. Forcing other drivers to swerve out of your way is dangerous driving. Crossing double white lines on a bend is just plain stupid. Lorry drivers suffer from impatience as well. Late for an appointment? Possibly, but more likely just impatience. Watch out, pedestrians. The following is a road rage-inducing cut-up, but this rude motorist made the mistake of doing it to an unmarked patrol car. This driver easily makes it into the top 10 of the world's worst drivers. No one in their right mind would do this. It was a miracle he didn't cause a pile-up as he U-turned across the overtaking lane into this gap in the barrier. If it hadn't have been caught on camera, no one would have believed it. He was quickly pulled up. The traffic guys found he was a Ukrainian tourist who had got lost on his way back to the ferry. They let him go with a caution. Let's hope if he ever comes back again, he takes the train. Air support. The work of the police helicopter covers a wide range of activities, from life-saving rescues, observation work to pursuits. The helicopter's sheer versatility and efficiency has made it an invaluable tool for policing. The most common police helicopter is a twin-engine Squirrel, which is fast and economical. From the time a request for assistance has been received, the helicopter crew can be off the ground within a couple of minutes. And with flying speeds of up to 140 miles per hour, they can be over the incident area in no time at all. There are 25 air support units throughout the country responding to emergency calls like this. Whether police helicopters are looking for missing people, controlling crowds or tracking speeding cars, their ability to go anywhere gives them a unique advantage.
I'm PC Dave Martin from the Chiltern Air Support Unit, based at the Western Base at Kidlington in Oxfordshire. The ball that we see on the front of the aircraft here is the housing for the camera and the forward-looking infrared. We have the two apertures, one which covers the camera, which is a daylight video camera, and the other which covers the forward-looking infrared. This is all gyro stabilised, and that negates all the vibrations that you get whilst you're in flight.
This is near the centre of Oxford. The air unit have been called out to look for some armed security van robbers. They're in a grey getaway car. It's not long before they start throwing out anything incriminating. The white object thrown turned out to be a bag with £25,000 in it from the robbery. They also threw out two handguns, one a fully loaded 9mm and the other a Second World War Army revolver, which wasn't working. The robbers are on a day trip from London and don't know Oxford at all, and are in fact lost. They're heading back in the direction of where they just robbed the van. Watch as a black leather jacket gets thrown out here. But they had made a big mistake, as this was a dead end, and they had no choice but to go cross-country over Oxford's Port Meadow Fields. Now, they'd run out of options, so they abandoned the car in the hope of losing the patrol cars. But they were never going to shake off the helicopter. As they run into a cul-de-sac, they chase down a builder, leaving in a white van, and try to hijack it. But the driver punches one of the robbers in the face, stops the van, and jumps out with the keys. With the police sirens fast approaching, they double back. They are each currently serving 9 years.
The FLIR system is used not just for catching criminals, people who may have escaped from stolen cars or whatever, but it's also used to locate missing persons, missing children, people who are vulnerable. It can cover a very wide area, particularly in an open area, extremely quickly. And so what in the past a large ground area search, which has taken dozens of police officers in line to clear a field, for example, with this system we can clear that same area in minutes. We use it in conjunction with the daylight camera, and we can use it in daylight as well as nighttime. For example, somebody disappears from our view on the daylight camera behind trees, bushes or whatever. By flicking the flick of a switch, quite literally, we can transform that and show that same person hiding behind the bush or disappearing into the trees, and it's that easy. They may not be able to see us, but with this equipment we can still most definitely see them.
The video also provides vital continuity of evidence, giving little scope for him to argue that he was not in the vehicle. Before the video evidence was available, a lawyer might have convinced the judge that the suspect was out poaching in the woods, but not anymore. Both offenders got 3 months youth detention.
The pictures that we see in the aircraft, which we can record with video recorders which are fitted to the aircraft, be it the daylight camera or the FLIR, we can actually downlink that by microwave to control rooms within the force area. Control rooms and operational commanders can see in real time the stuff that we're looking at in the aircraft. This obviously makes them much more tactically aware of the situation on the ground and gives them a perfect three-dimensional overview which assists the radio traffic that they're hearing at the same time.
This pursuit had lasted for 45 minutes, and the car thieves travelled from Banbury up to near Daventry. The controllers were about to call the pursuit off, as it looked as if it was getting too dangerous, when the thieves were stopped. One of the helicopter's most valuable contributions during a pursuit is that it allows the ground forces to hang back and follow from a safe distance, which makes a pursuit much safer for the police and the public. It means that the suspect's car usually slows down, as they don't feel so threatened. These juvenile car thieves in Milton Keynes knew exactly where they were going, but they didn't know that recent heavy rain had turned their off-road route into a muddy bog.
This is known as SkyShout. It's a public address system fitted to the aircraft. We have speakers this side and identical speakers on the opposite side of the aircraft. And this is linked into a siren system as well. We can use this sort of device if we need to broadcast a message over a wide area, for example. We could possibly use that in public order situations. And in fact, we use this device on a fire in the Slough area where we wish to clear people away from the scene of the fire without them probably realising they were in quite as much danger as they were. And we use this device standing off some way and broadcast to them that they were in some danger where they were.
This store of chemicals on fire in the middle of Slough was the fire brigade's worst nightmare. The Fleur heat-seeking system was able to look into the fire and advise firemen where the fire was centred and where it seemed to be spreading. The smoke wasn't so dangerous that they had to evacuate the town, but the fire did cause an explosion that knocked some firemen off their feet, but luckily no one was seriously hurt.
This device fitted to the underside of the aircraft is known as Night Sun and is quite literally a 30 million candle power searchlight. We can concentrate this beam into one of two different aspects. One which is a flood type beam which will light up a wide area of what we're shining it on, and the other is a pencil thin beam which we can use to concentrate in a particular area. We can quite happily sit in the aircraft at 1,000 feet with this thing illuminated and quite literally turn the ground below us into total daylight.
Helicopters are often called out to cover problems on the motorways, and the Chiltern Air Unit has more miles of motorway to cover than any other unit in the country. But they couldn't believe their eyes when they were called out to help with this chap who was driving down the fast lane of the M40 the wrong way at night. They might have used the Night Sun in a situation like this so that approaching motorists would have no problem in seeing him. But other units were already on hand and had the situation under control. It turned out that the driver had just passed his test and got confused as he hadn't driven on a motorway before.
The aerials that you see in the front in your picture now is one of a series fitted to a device fitted to the aircraft known as Tracker. Now, Tracker is fitted to a lot of high-powered vehicles, a lot of expensive vehicles, and there's a microchip basically embedded somewhere within the vehicle. If that vehicle is stolen or goes missing for whatever reason, a simple phone call to Tracker headquarters and they will activate the signal. That in turn can be picked up by aircraft similarly equipped, and indeed a lot of police cars are equipped with this sort of device now.
This stolen car was driven so hard that its heat made it stand out from other cars around it. Watch as it skids to a halt, leaving white heat marks on the road. The thief hides in the backyard of someone's house. Except with the Fleur, he's not really hidden at all, and the helicopter guides the foot patrol straight to him. Children at risk. One of the groups most affected by speeding is children. Injuries and deaths for children increased last year, with 270 being killed, which is one of the worst child fatality rates in Europe. There are many things drivers can do to reduce this appalling statistic, and the simplest is to make sure that children in cars are wearing seatbelts. It's also breaking the law not to have them on and can fetch a fixed penalty fine of £20, or a lot more if taken to court. Children are also not able to judge speed very well and underestimate how fast a car is really travelling. One of the most successful traffic experiments was to reduce the speed of traffic to 20 miles per hour near certain schools, which cut accidents by 67%. The car speeding in this clip demonstrates how at risk children are from irresponsible motorists. Again, watch as this biker speeds through the red light as a child is about to cross. Schoolchildren will on occasion still run across roads without looking. The patrol car just clipped him and knocked him down, but luckily he wasn't hurt, just shocked. winter driving. Many motorists have little or no experience on how to deal with driving in snowy, icy conditions, and too many ignore police advice not to drive at all.
Radioapparater, de är ju med från starten. När du köper nytt så... Oj jävlar.
Winter driving and driving in bad weather conditions need to a degree a different set of skills. It's all about smoothness, progression, creating a flow with the car. To do this, observations, planning, anticipation and driving to the conditions are of paramount importance. Here we are driving around a skid pan. We're not skidding. Why? We're not going fast enough to skid. Therefore, I'm driving to the conditions. There could be nothing more slippery than the skid pan. It simulates ice conditions, but we're not skidding, we're not sliding. We have no tread on the tyres either, but we're still not skidding or sliding. And it's due to the smoothness, the flow, the progression with the car. Driving in ice, snow, slush, you hit a patch of black ice. What do you do, apart from panicking? The main thing to do is to come off all the pedals, the foot pedals, that's the accelerator and the brake, and just try and steer where you need to go. You must not brake, you must not brake.
If this motorist had used his steering instead of braking, he would not have gone skating. And this motorist would have avoided this. Kill your speed. You might be interested in knowing that the statistics show that British drivers are guilty of driving as fast as the Italians. The Kill Your Speed campaign is a very effective way to cut road deaths and accidents. So next time you're out driving, please bear this in mind and kill your speed.